I wanted to talk a little bit about having a seasonal business. So I'm not going at the same pace the whole year round. I get a lot of like energy, like school year, September. So September to like probably January is my most intense part of the year. So right now it's like my most intense. I will be making more social media. I'll be making more posts. I'll be um, doing more videos and things like that. And then I sort of taper off over like the spring, and I tend to have a bit of a break in the summer from doing this side of things. I would do some client work over that period, and it worked for me because I think for me with what the type of content I make, especially when I've got goal setting and life design, a lot of people are looking at that over sort of November, December, January. So it just makes sense that that would be the time where I put a lot of focus in. And quarter four, like retail, coming from retail, quarter four is also a period where people are looking for things, looking to buy. They're looking, like in terms of like planners and stuff like that, the physical product side of what I do. And then I find that I can't personally keep up a pace like that all year round. There are people who do. I don't know how they do it. They're on social media the whole year round, like every day. But that is just something that I've found hard to do, and I'm not even trying to do it. I think I tried to do that. Like there was one year where I think I was trying to do all that, and I remember just being up like past midnight. I was like always like pinning on Pinterest. I mean, I did end up having nearly a million monthly views one year. But yeah, it was a lot. I couldn't keep up that pace, and I quite like this. I kind of like this rhythm that I've fallen into. Like I said, I have like a nice break over the summer. The kids are off, and then by the time 6 weeks has been come and gone, I'm like actually really excited and raring to get going. So I find for me it's like great you have that break, maybe we go on family holiday, stuff like that, and then I'm like raring to go. I've got like loads of energy for it. And then over and it also for me, I find the winters a little bit hard here in the UK. It's a bit grey, it's cold, dark nights, dark mornings. It feels like the whole day is dark sometimes. And I do tend to find that I do then have a bit of more of a low mood. If I don't have things going on, I do tend to struggle. Like I remember when I was working, like work was the only thing I had in that sense. So I would find my mood be a bit lower over the winter. So it's actually been great for me to like be doing like new journals, new planners, mini courses, workshops, and doing things like that during this period. It helps keep me active, and that helps me not to like get too low. So for me it's great. And then as it starts to get warmer and sunnier, then I'm liking to slow down and then actually sort of be outside more, in the go sit outside in the sunshine, do a few things in the garden and that kind of thing. So it's been a rhythm that's like really worked for me, and I enjoy it. And it could change. It's not like it's set in stone because life changes. But I just thought I'd share a little bit about like my seasonal aspect to my business and life. And there's times where I don't want to really do anything businessy, and I find that my goals are like really super focused on my home, my kids, my family life. Maybe like it's doing focusing on the bedtime after school routine, and as they change and they go into these like new development seasons of different ages, interests and stuff like that, then you have to adapt. And then now I'm in a time where um, I've got a teenager and an almost teenager, and the time you have together is very different. Nobody wants me to sit down with them and like sit on the floor and playing toys or whatever, cars and things like that. Their interests are different. They want more time of their own, and the older one doesn't necessarily want to even spend much time with us. So looking like, okay, what does family time look like now? It takes, you have to figure it out and sort of like create your blueprint for the next months or yeah, 6 months. I think like 6 months seem to be sort of as long as it goes before they go into a new developmental stage. So yeah, sometimes I'm like looking very much inwards, and it's about the home, family life, and sometimes it's more inwards. It's like me. And last spring, I think is like when I started doing a lot of like inner work, and it was mostly faith based. So it was like really going inside and just like seeing what's going on and looking at some stuff, patterns that we pick up from childhood, from our families, from things around us, and what's working, what do I want to take with me, what do I not want to take into my future, which part of those feel like they're true to me, which parts of those are things that I just picked up along the way. So that is like my year where it will just go between like sort of like business focus and creating things and making things, and then it would be more like a family focus, and then like more of an internal focus, and it just kind of like goes in, flows in and out of those different things. And yeah, that's, I feel like when I look at this past year, it has been a hard year, like personal, there's, you know, like I think I've mentioned, it feels like every time I went to the doctor there was like a new little thing that's popped up, and then you have a lot of little things all together, it can feel like a big thing. But when I look over the year, it's like there's been some great achievements. I've been really happy, like get my coaching diploma. That was like my, probably my big highlight of my goals of what I've achieved. Having our 20th anniversary, having a wonderful holiday in Greece, our first time we did all inclusive, and that was just like a lovely experience. Not to cook, and being a lovely hotel, really nice staff and things like that. So there's been some lovely highlights, and then yeah, it's been great to like be then seeing how I can bring in that coaching to like It Starts with a Dream. I'm trying to think what else has been like a highlight. The garden, that was a big one for me. Like the garden was one of my main goals of basically putting the tiers in, because it was sloped, so putting tiers in levels so you could actually have flat levels, so then you could have, we have put the decking in a lower level where we can sit, then we've got like this higher level which we've sort of as much as we could flattened out where there's fake grass and the children play football, and then we have, yeah, and then we have another level where it's like it's lawn, and we kept some real grass there, and we've got some lovely plants in there now. I'm hoping they survive the winter. So those have been some of the, you know, how my year has got, how my year has looked, and some of the things I've gotten to do, some of the goals that I have been working on and achieved. So that's a little bit about me and my seasonal life and seasonal business. I thought it was just going to be about a seasonal business, but actually, it's actually about having a seasonal life. And I'd love to know what kind of things you've been up to this year, what you've achieved, what goals have you been working on that have felt really important to you and really fulfilling.